What's up? Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. It is time to rise and shred with the one, the only, the talented, both him and I are looking a little scruffy, Mr. Jacob Gaffney himself. We are hanging out. We said, you know what? We're gonna go the scruff lifestyle. That's the way we live. Hashtag scruff lifestyle is the way we are going this morning. We hope you all had an incredible weekend. We are the one, the only daily diary of the mortgage industry, and we are bringing you so many stories. I know you missed us last week, ladies and gentlemen. It was the 4th of July. We gave you a week off, but now we're coming at you with 2 weeks of incredible information that you did not want to miss. And hopefully you have subscribed. If you haven't subscribed already, you're missing out. Like I said, Rise&Shred.io. You can subscribe right now and not miss a single daily diary of the mortgage industry. Before we get into it, ladies and gentlemen, we have so much to talk about. Are you ready? Are you ready? It is time to rise and shred. Jacob, in those videos, you even had the beard going on and something like that. Man, you're looking good, man. I like it. I miss the beard.
It shocked me. I had not seen that. I had not seen that intro, and it totally shocked me. I don't know if it's going to ever come back.
No, it was good there for a minute.
So funny thing is I shaved for the show 2 hours ago this morning. So this is doesn't take long.
That doesn't take long anymore. You've got plenty of hydration to the face. Many of the world, or many of the countries not getting the water needs, but our faces, they're hydrated. They're looking good, man. What can we say? What can we say? But hey, first and foremost, how was your weekend? How was your weekend, sir?
You know, it was great. Like you said, we took the week off last week.
We did.
For 4th of July. God bless the USA. Got to take some time off. But I'm always struck, man, like if you miss a week, like so much misinformation just gets out there, and it's like so many things not even close to the truth are getting pushed out there, and it's just crazy. So on one hand, you got to take the week off, but on the other hand, it feels like things are going to get a little out of control. Who feels that? Who feels like when they take a week off, like their whole work life cycle just kind of gets and just
explodes? I comment below because I guarantee many of you are feeling that way. I'm feeling that way. It's just so much. I'm glad you talk about the misinformation. We're going to be talking a lot about that because holy cow, it is just absolutely absurd in our industry right now. The discussions that are happening, the things that you and I are seeing, it's just like, what is wrong with the world right now? So let's kind of dive into this. And I think we're going to start with Goldman Sachs gave a warning, right? Okay. Let's talk about Goldman Sachs.
So Goldman Sachs has something it calls briefings, right? It's just like the Rise and Shred, but it doesn't like it doesn't get posted on a website. It's just a note that they email to clients, interviews, stuff like that. What's really interesting about the Goldman Sachs briefings, though, is that economists work with the analysts with interviews, and they make speculations on how investors can make better decisions. So in this case, they went out and they've asked their subscribers, or probably, in the tens of thousands, right? So they asked them a couple of questions about what they think about the investment environment. Okay. So about 1,000 investors actually wrote back. So you know how it is, Josh, you do a survey of 10, 20,000. They got a return of 1,000, which is probably a pretty good relative portion of their client base. So we're talking about good money here. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
This is what the good money says, that they think that interest rate hikes are coming next year. Basically, that's the best way to do it. They think that the Fed's going to be hamstrung on inflation, and they're going to have. Now, we've been covering. This is why it's interesting, Josh. We've been covering how the Fed Reserve presidents have not been on the same page with this issue. Okay,
not even. Nope.
Low interest rates are the only thing holding all of us together. It feels like, right?
Yep.
Like having a positive interest rate environment for mortgage lending right now is like it's like if interest rates jump, we're all busted. It feels
right.
like. I mean, I don't know, but that's what I hear. Like we've got to keep the interest rates low. They could go up a little bit, but they can't go up too much. So this is why we continually cover this issue. And investors are thinking the Fed is going to rise interest rates sooner than what the Fed is saying.
Right.
So that's what's important. Like the Fed's saying one thing, but investors think sooner is going to happen. However, as with anything else, there is a caveat. If there is another uptick in COVID cases, okay, and this is a real possibility, all right, because the entire nation is trying to get back to work. We're trying to get back. We're not going to be able to backpedal, Josh. We're not going to be able to go back into lockdown. No one, I can't take it. Can you take it?
No way, man.
No, it's not going to happen. Even if it gets ruled that we need to go back in lockdown, there's going to be some serious explicative, deleted show. Okay, trying to get back. It's just not going to happen.
Nope.
To the economy. So that is the main concern for investors. Is that they're worried that COVID's going to come back and we're just going to have to roll with it. Okay, we're not going to have this nice control where we all go into lockdown. We're all going to Trader Joe's, putting on masks. We're all going into Costco, with face shields on and like, hey, Josh, how's it going? I'm going to do the show. And, not going outside and like dodging COVID, and staying within 12 feet of each other. When someone sneezes, we just execute them on the spot.
Yep.
For being a public danger, Yep. It's just not going to happen. So that's the big concern with investors. Like big it's a major concern. They think that COVID has not gone away and that our leaders have no real answer for it, Josh. That's what they're saying, that it's a single pandemic with a major global impact that has not been dealt with effectively. So
that's big though. Like this is one of those things. And ladies and gentlemen, we'd love your comments below. Comment, as we talk about these things, we love your comments, love your feedback. But this is one of those things that as we continue to see this second strain of COVID now that people are talking about, there were some announcements within our local community, within our local government. That's like, do we go shutdown? And I'm like, oh my gosh, we're not like, are we going down there again, Jacob? Like it's interesting to say the least and to see what will happen. It's only time will tell. And you got to stay here. Make sure you subscribe to Rise&Shred because we're going to continue to talk about it. But more in our industry, which kind of leads, as you were talking about the Fed, the Fed kind of got some things wrong. They're kind of, what did they get wrong here? Let's go into that a little bit more because they really got some things wrong.
So how much time do we have? All right. So we talk about we talk about the Federal Reserve presidents. They sit on this committee that determines our entire monetary policy. We talk about monetary policy quite a lot on the show because it does dictate our daily lives. Whether or not you know it, whether or not you see it, whether or not you care about it, guess what? There are people out there deciding how your business will be successful or not successful before you even wake up and go in. So what we do is we sit there and we watch them and we kind of like to get an idea of what they're thinking. Same with the Goldman Sachs notes. And speaking of Goldman Sachs, 23 years, some odd veteran of Goldman Sachs is the Dallas Fed president, Kaplan. Okay, he worked at Goldman Sachs, so he'd probably love this show. But I tell you what, he does not watch this show because he did an interview for Barron's that is so far off the mark, Josh.
Oh my gosh,
I can't even begin. And he's not he doesn't vote yet on the FM, but he's voting next year. He's going to vote next year. And to think that the Dallas Fed, he's so smart. And I know people who work down at the Dallas Fed, okay? I'm in Dallas-Fort Worth. I know the good people. But, man, I mean, there's an interview in Barron's. It's behind a paywall, and I don't even think it can go in Rise&Shred because it's just so wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know how a Dallas Fed president, someone who determines the monetary policy of this country, he basically, Josh, I'll tell you what he says, is he's saying that more and more, in this interview, okay, he is relying on anecdotes from things he's heard in his market. I cannot tell you how dangerous it is to try to make national federal monetary policy based on things you kind of heard.
Is it right?
Well, he's saying I'll quote right here in my notes, okay? We're hearing more and more that buyers of houses is a fund of some type.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Whoa.
So I don't even know where the tap on the brakes. Dude.
Back it up. Back it up.
I don't even know where to begin. Okay. First of all, anybody who is offering over asking is a owner occupant. Investors do not pay more than what an asset is worth.
Nope.
Typically. Okay. That is also anecdotal. All right. Do sometimes investors pay more because there's ROI for it or whatever?
Sure.
They have an
Yeah.
algorithm that says they pay. Maybe. Okay. But anecdotally, you could say that investors will not overpay for an investment.
Nope.
Okay. And that's across any asset class.
Absolutely.
All right. So that's one. So to think that the Dallas Fed president is saying we're hearing, and that's his basis for an argument is what he's heard. Okay.
Can you believe that?
It's a fund of some type of fund. Like what? Am I saying crazy bills, Josh?
It's absurd, man. It's absolutely absurd. Like you said, going from the beginning, like there's just so much misinformation out there right now. It's like, and these are people in prominent positions within the industry.
Like, are you, where's the data? Where's the facts? Where is it, Josh? Because it's not anywhere except in this little thing that we have going on here. Where is it? Where is the outrage? Where is the coverage?
Right.
Where is everybody like monitoring this? Like where are people saying like, wait, you can't say that without substantiating it. Like, where's the standard just generally like to have barons put this stuff out and to send these alarm bells just into the market, which is, by the way, a challenging market as it is. You know, we understand there's job concerns. We understand there's quitting concerns. We understand that there's employment concerns, okay? We understand that there are not enough homes because boomers are sitting tight on their investments, okay? So blame the boomers, okay? But don't come out and do an interview with barons just talking about this stuff that's on your mind because you think it. Now's not the time. And I tell you what, Josh, and maybe I've been a little too hard here. Have I been a little too hard?
No, I think you're being, I don't think this is one of those things that I think we're being just enough and maybe not even enough because again, the misinformation, the things that are being, and I like John Hill's comment here. It's like the Muppet Show went human. We're seeing these people just like being just talking out there freaking, you know what, that is just absurd right now.
Yeah, it's crazy and it's a shame. And there are a lot of other concerns. And we go back to employments, we go back to jobs, and we go back to things we're talking about. There are a lot of other concerns in our market that should be eating up our time instead of these shadow investors coming in, buying up what little inventory is, and basically making, I guess, people homeless. I don't really know. Even if you know, these investment partners, these funds were buying up houses. I mean,
right.
If an owner occupant is willing to invest in a 30-year, I do think the duration of that investment is far larger than any REIT, type of fund. I mean, it could be a REIT, could be, I don't know, Blackstone, BlackRock, Black this, Black that, you know, I don't know. It's shadow talk and I don't like it. Personally, and I don't think it's helpful.
I'd say, well, what's bad is not helpful. I love that where you're going with that. It's not helpful to the industry. It's not helpful to the conversation. It's not helpful to all of us. That's why we do the show. Is like we try to provide valuable information. What's being out there right now, what's being provided is not valuable. It's not good. It's not healthy, to be frank and to be honest, for the conversation and what's going on within the industry. You mentioned jobs. Let's kind of switch the directions for just a second. And tellers, this is one of those positions which typically within our industry, this is kind of teller jobs are vanishing. They're becoming non-existent. Is this something that a trend we're going to continue to see?
Unfortunately, Josh, one thing that we don't talk about nearly enough, although I talk about it until everyone's sick of speaking to me, is that we don't do enough in this industry to offer equitable opportunities to everybody. And the teller position is disproportionately filled by women. Okay. Yep. The bank teller position is disproportionately filled by women. And more women tend to start this job. That's just a fact. Okay. So we're already faced with an environment where fewer and fewer women are entering the workforce and fewer women are interested in working in mortgages. And I got to tell you, the contribution of everybody to the mortgage industry is equally important.
100%.
A loss of anybody if anything, we need more diversity.
Agreed.
We need more inclusion. It's a tough topic. People don't really want to talk about it. Make some kind of squeamish or something. I don't know, but they don't want to embrace it head on. I think they should. But there's little nuanced things, like if we don't have tellers anymore because they're vanishing at a disproportionate rate in financial services, the teller position is vanishing at a disproportionate rate to everything else. Okay, so tellers typically move up. They start. That's their job. They get a little bit of feel. They deal with the public. They get to know what people want. There's some examples there, of people who are now own and run major companies who started as tellers. How's that for a little bit of backstory, huh? Did you even know that Laura Escobar started as a teller?
I had no idea. That was kind of cool. When I learned that, I'm like, yeah, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, you don't get that kind of insight every day. It's very interesting. But that's proof that tellers become awesome.
Incredible.
And the fact that their jobs are vanishing is, I'm telling you, 5-10 years, we're going to be sitting down having this conversation, and we're going to be moaning at the lack of talent in the industry because we're not getting people started right. We're not getting them started well. This
Correct.
is the financial industry. We're just not getting it. And it's because these major financial institutions continue to eliminate these entry-level positions.
Yep.
Because they're the easiest, and we've posited in Rise&Shred that maybe we should automate the CEO position.
Right.
Maybe that's because how many tellers can we pay for the average income of your major executives, right? But they're not interested. They're not interested in automating their own positions. But I do think that there needs to be better support at entry-level positions. And this is something I want to be clear, this is something that is very much in the financial industry, very much in the banking industry. Right. Okay. In the independent mortgage bank industry, there's still very, very good opportunities for loan officers. There's very, very good opportunities in the appraisal market. It is amazing for underwriters, for all that. There's amazing entry-level positions. Okay. They're hard to fill. And oftentimes it's because we don't have people who are coming into those very simple entry-level positions of minimum wage jobs like that.
Right.
So, people tend to migrate over from one job to the next. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out the next 6 to 12 months.
100%. It will be really interesting. You mentioned the appraisal space. We're actually having a really cool discussion this Thursday with Regora. Brian's in over Regora. We're talking about that. There's a lot of opportunity in the appraisal space right now. You mentioned entry-level positions. That's another part of our industry that is completely under attack. Like, we're losing a lot of appraisers. It's an interesting space, and to say the least. So there are a lot of these smaller pieces, these I guess I don't know what you call those, caveats, or call them, I don't know. What's the word I'm looking for, Jacob? Minor pieces that all come to play of our entire industry. So it will be super interesting to see what happens. Like you said, the next 6-12 months are going to be really cool. Oh, Jerry, thank you so much. I love that you're talking about this. Yes, we need more diversity, more inclusion. We're having a great combo next summer. You guys are. Definitely check out the next summer event that's coming up. And Jacob Gaffney always does a great job. Thanks so much, Jerry, for the comment. We appreciate it. But you mentioned something here that I want to, as we kind of shift, as we start to wrap the show up to this morning, Jacob.
Yeah.
Zillow, as we start to take things a little bit too far, we're talking about diversity, but Zillow in particular, they took something a little bit too far when it came from the work from home space.
Yeah, there was a Zillow executive bragging on LinkedIn that he was interviewed by the New York Times, which is awesome. Great,
cool. Rock and roll.
That's so cool. The fact that he hated on offices and all that was like, hey, that's my line. I'm like, how's I do that? So this is, but I'm not coming from a hater position. I do think that the office work-life balance thing needs to be rethought, but I don't think like a total elimination of the office is a solution here. I also, again, with the misinformation, the performance of offices are as an asset class are not failing. Okay.
No.
People are returning to work, but the idea that's posited by Mr. Spalding of Zillow that offices intrinsically favor the leadership there, that offices are a way in which leaders benefit, but employees do not. I can't say that. I've worked in a lot of newsrooms. I've had a lot of disagreements. I've been the subordinate and I've been the ordinate, if that's a word. Speaking of words, I've run newsrooms. I've run in newsrooms. I've been intern and all that. And I can't tell you that equivocally, like the Zillow CEO is that meeting once a month would be sufficient to innovation. The fact that you don't need an office to drive innovation is true, but very specifically, like Josh, you and I have not been in the same room for 2 years.
It's true.
Yet we've launched this whole thing together via virtual meetings, and we've had, for every successful thing we've done, we've had 3 meetings where things fell apart.
Yeah.
Right? And we've done our innovation and we're continuing, and we got tons of great ideas coming out. But you and I are mature members of the mortgage industry. We can collaborate effectively virtually. Entry-level positions cannot. We're going back to the tellers thing. Like if you want to eliminate office because you don't want to pay rent as a leader, say that. But don't sit here and tell me, that the office is working against you.
No.
Because that's what he's doing. He's like, having an office works against you. And he's gonna launch it into this inquisition because he poses a question. You weren't in the insider group. You weren't listened to. You didn't go to the same positions as people in power because you weren't gathering, right? That's what he's saying, right? That face-to-face is a bias.
Jeez.
That face-to-face favors those in power. And he's someone in power. I don't buy it. I don't buy it, Josh. I think he's saying like, we've saved so much money because we don't have to pay for offices in Seattle anymore, that we're just going to try to keep this going and spin it to make it seem like we're making it happen. And what I mean, it's Zillow. I mean, you're taking real estate listings from agents. I mean,
right. Yep.
And now you're moving into the iBuyer market, which is unprofitable for you.
100%.
Okay? So what you're saving in rent money, you're losing in the iBuyer market. Let's be honest. It's a public traded company. We all see it. Okay. So to sit there and say that offices have somehow helped you beyond your bottom line, that you somehow launched into this cultural revolution through your Zoom calls or what have you. It's gone too far. Okay. You had me at let's come to work twice a week.
Right. Well, it's just absurd. It goes to our entire theme of this entire show. It's just the misinformation that we have executives saying things that, like, just come out and call it what it is. Like, you don't want to spend the money on the rent. Like, you don't want to lease buildings. You don't want to buy buildings. Like, hey, cool. Hey, be honest about it. Don't try to come out with this bull crap like, oh, this is why we're doing it. Like, we all know. And to your point, and I've seen this, you've seen this, running companies, running newsrooms from running 50 LOs inside my company. Having new people there face to face, working with them, helping them, training them is incredibly productive. Those newer people, our industry, I think I truly see this happening. We're going to see, unless the Rockets of the world and some of these other big companies, they continue just to turn and spit out these young people. They crank them out, they burn them out, and then they're gone. But it's because they're doing these virtual. They're work from home. They're not becoming part of the culture. You look at these big companies that are uber successful within our market, within our industry, and it's because they have that culture. It's because they're coming together. So I think, again, just the misinformation, the entire theme of our show today, the misinformation that is being put out there within our industry, and it's just being eaten up. People are like, the crazy part is you and I are the only people who are discussing it. It seems like it's just continue to be sidelined and like, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal, not big news, but it is. And if we continue to think in this way, and we continue to have leaders put these thoughts in our head and these ideas, like, it's just going to become adopted, which is absurd. So that's maybe you and I are just being too harsh. Maybe we're being overcritical, Jacob. Maybe that's our problem. I don't think so.
Well, I want you to do something for me, Josh. Okay, let me go ahead and I know we're over here, but do this. Can you Google something for me and bring it up?
Firing.
All right. Google Zillow Flickr. Okay. FIL.
Okay.
CKR. Zillow Flickr. Bring it on up. Bring it on up. Okay. Zillow is a virtual company, right? It's online. If you take a look at like eXp Realty, for example, they have an entire online. Go ahead, click on their Flickr page if you can.
There's a Flickr address. Zillow Flickr.
Knock out the E. Take the E away.
Oh, my bad. That's where I did it wrong. I typed in E. There it is. There we go.
There it is.
There it is. Boom. There. That's what we're looking for.
So this is a company that doesn't care about the office culture. Scroll down.
Yeah, I mean, just
a second ago, they were marketing about how look at their office. They're playing ping pong. Oh my God, it's such an amazing office to work at. But now we've gotten rid of it because it's no longer marketable. Look, we have snacks.
Oh,
okay. So listen, don't go so far and sit here and tell me just 2 years ago you had a Flickr page where you were talking about how great your office space was, and then to go on the New York Times and say, I don't believe in offices anymore. It's because you're saving money. You don't have to post a Flickr anymore. All right.
Exactly right.
It's just an unbalanced approach to delivering information into our market. And ultimately, I think it's very damaging that we have executives that just shoot from the hip. Yep. I want to see more thought. I want to see more leadership. I want to see more clarity. All right. I'm not a leader in any of the issues that I've talked about. I'm a commenter on them. I'm an observer of them. I want to see true leadership because I'm not seeing, and the leaders we have currently are failing to deliver. Okay. And that's the issue I have. Publicly traded companies such as Zillow should not have executives in the New York Times talking about issues that they have spun around 180 degrees on and have no basis for commentary. Okay. Right. Fed presidents should not be referring to stories they heard. All right. I want to see a good ending to this fairy tale, one that is a basis in fact. Okay. I want us to not just return to the office appropriately. I want us to not just return to a market appropriately. I want us to return to reality, Josh. We've lost our sense of time and space and accuracy because of this pandemic, and we are failing to get it back.
Mic drop. That is literally it. Like, that's best note to end on. What you just said, Jacob's rings so true, and it should be ringing true for all of you. And that's what Rise&Shred, that's what we continue to bring you every single day, but specifically on Mondays, Jacob and I do the live video talking about these topics. And what Jacob just said could not be more true now more than ever. We're needing executives. We're needing the people of influence in our space to step up and be accurate. Check your facts. If you need, me and Jacob will be the first to admit we're absolutely not the experts, but stop saying shit that is not correct. Oh man, ladies and gentlemen, on that, we love you guys. Hopefully you have about with that hearts all around. Oh, we love all you guys. And here, Jacob, with this heart sign, we do it because we love you. We love this industry. We've devoted our lives, we've devoted our careers to this industry, and we do our best to try to bring factual information to you guys. With that, we're out of here. I hope you guys have got something out of it. Jacob, you are absolutely incredible. How you do and how you continue to bring us these things. Our team at Rise&Shred is just phenomenal. So thank you. Thank your team for all that we continue to do. And ladies and gentlemen, if you have not subscribed, the link is below. Click the link. Subscribe to Rise&Shred. Don't miss a single day of the Daily Diary, the number one and only Daily Diary of the mortgage industry. With that, we appreciate you. We love you. Now it's time for all of you to go shred, go show up, hustle, repeat every day. See you guys.